Now this is my shed. Now I do call it a shed and not a shop because when I think of the word shop, I think of somewhere nice and built up and pretty, and this is not. It's basically what I've got and it's what I've got to deal with. But I figure I'm gonna make it better. So in this series of videos, I'm gonna try and turn this shed into a shop. Something a hell of a lot better, something a lot nicer to be in, and something a lot easier and more productive to making videos, which is what I enjoy. So the first thing that I need to do is this massive contraption behind me. It's storage. Now, I wish I didn't need to, but I need a hell of a lot more storage. This storage thing, I'm gonna put outside and try and turn it into its own little garden shed or a little storage shed. And from there, I'm gonna start cladding the walls, making welding tables, making miter tables, and a whole lot of very cool stuff in here. So keep tuned and keep tuned for the videos coming up. Now, first thing, dust, because everything in the shed is completely coated with dust. So I need to make sure I'm wearing my mask, because otherwise I'm going to be breathing in way too much shit. And it's time to pretty much pull down everything that I've got in there and disassemble the one that's there. Now, for this shed, I have pretty much no plans. I didn't quite know how I was going to do it, and basically I was going to be making it on the fly, which it seemed to come out alright. I had a couple requirements that I needed for it. In South Australia, I've got to keep it under the size that you legally can do without getting a council permit and that sort of fun stuff, because I just basically didn't want to go down that path. And I wanted to keep it pretty cheap, which is why I'm using steel tubing here, which I get from the local scrap supply place for very, very cheap. And the walls are pretty much clad with a normal poly sheeting. So all in all, the whole project cost me under about $300, and it's pretty much a matter of measuring as I go, and from there just going on step by step by step till it was all pretty much completed. And it's not that complicated, to be perfectly honest. It's basically just a big cube, and I weld in little pieces, I weld in other pieces, and get it all straight, secure, and then weld it all into place. And before somebody says it, no, I am not an expert welder. I never claim to be, and what I do seems to work, but it's never going to be the prettiest welds. But I've hung off these ones, I dangled off them, and they are strong enough for what I need. Practice makes perfect, and I'll eventually become a good welder, but it takes time. Now, the panels all went in very, very easily. There's some screws that you can get that are designed just for roofing, and they screw straight into metal, so it was absolute cinch to get them in. You can't see it too well here, but one thing, the requirement that I did want to do is I wanted to have something set up to be able to store sheet goods. So sheet pieces of melamine, plywood, and that sort of thing, because basically I've got nowhere to put them. So I built that into it as well, which we'll get to in a second, and I put in a bit of flushing here as well, just to make it look a little bit prettier and keep water out. Now luckily these shelves are pretty much all completed already, so I just needed to screw them back into place and go from there. And here I have the, is my wife gonna grumble at me if I don't paint the fence before I put away the paint? And guess which one won? So I gave the fence a coat of paint, which I had in the shed, as you do. Now, I'm actually quite proud of the panel sheet storage that I put in there, because it works remarkably well, and I can get about 8 sheets of plywood or melamine or particle board or whatever I want to put in there, slapped in there, and I've got room above that for even more stuff. So wood storage, which I've wanted for ages, is perfect now. Okay, so I have my shed pretty much done. It's not going to be the prettiest shed ever, and I wasn't quite expecting that out of it, but it's more utility. So I want to be able to store everything that I don't want to keep inside my normal shed. I'll take you for a quick tour. Yeah. So it's a pretty standard shed. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen a shed before, but I am relatively proud because it's the first one that I've ever actually built before. But like I say, it is pretty much just a storage shed. So all my crap is now behind me. And I've got somewhere to store the lawnmower, I've got somewhere to store all the tools, garden tools, paints, tiles from other projects, just everything. So I'm quite happy with this thing now, and now I get to start on some of the more fun jobs. So I'm going to be cladding all inside of the shed, which is going to be the next one that's coming up soon. So keep tuned, and thanks for watching. See you guys later.